Hey, and welcome to the Systems Boutique podcast. I'm Dr. Ramona H. Lawrence. Most people just simply call me Dr. Ramona. I'm your systems stylist and your business operations expert, and I'm here to help you build a high-end boutique style back-end that creates ease and scalability for you without sacrificing the luxury experience your clients absolutely deserve. So if you're a speaker, a coach, a consultant, a course creator, or author who's ready to stop the overwhelm, ditch the tech confusion, and finally streamline your systems and operations, you are in the right place. Each week, I'll bring you actionable strategies, expert insights, and behind-the-scenes business systems and operations insights to help you scale with ease, efficiency, and absolute excellence. So grab your notebook, your favorite cup of coffee or tea, and let's get to work. Welcome to the Systems Boutique, where systems meet style. Hey, and welcome to this week's episode of the Systems Boutique podcast. And who do we have styling your systems in the boutique today? Well, it's Mary Adanegbe, and Mary is a LinkedIn coach, and we are so excited to up our LinkedIn game today. So Mary, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be on your podcast, to be on the show, to be speaking about LinkedIn, something I'm really passionate about. And I'm Mary Adanegbe. I'm a LinkedIn business coach, obviously, and I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. And I enjoy using LinkedIn in my business. I enjoy seeing people take up their rightful space on LinkedIn. What I obsess about is helping people use LinkedIn to amplify their voice, amplify their message, and attract clients into their business. So I'm passionate about seeing women, seeing coaches, seeing speakers take up their space, really amplify the amazing people that they are on LinkedIn and on any other platform for that matter. And I also obsess about making sure that when they are putting themselves on this LinkedIn, they're actually generating leads, generating clients for their business. So they're not just being on LinkedIn because they are trying to fulfill some sort of ego-based goal. They're actually getting good results on LinkedIn. And the reason why I love the idea of seeing women take up space on LinkedIn is because my whole LinkedIn journey, my whole entrepreneurial journey started because I saw women who were actually taking up space on LinkedIn and showcasing their business, showcasing their side hustle. That's what I saw, because I had always wanted to build my business. I had always wanted and, dreamt about owning my own business, having this autonomy, but I never thought it was possible for me. I just kept climbing the corporate ladder until I got laid off, and I went to LinkedIn because I was looking for another job. And then I found all these amazing women sharing about their journey, sharing their business, and it inspired me. It made me believe that, look, there's something I can do. I can actually start sharing about my expertise. And I did that, and somehow I found myself become a LinkedIn coach. So LinkedIn basically transformed my life. It helped me start my journey of being an entrepreneur. It helped me leave my toxic job, which I was basically losing myself in that place. It helped me quit a long history of toxic workplaces. And I just want to see more women take up their space on LinkedIn, because I'm seeing way too many people who are hiding. They are hiding from not just LinkedIn, they are hiding online. They have so much expertise. They have so much of this magic that they embody, and they're not putting it out there. Nobody is seeing it. Their businesses are not growing because of it. And I really want to help people come out of that hiding place and use LinkedIn to its full extent. I mean, it's a free platform. So let's use it as the best of our capability.
I love that. And I do think so many people are hiding, and they're hiding from LinkedIn. And so as we think about LinkedIn in general, why are people slipping on LinkedIn? They're running to Instagram or to YouTube or to Facebook, but LinkedIn, a lot of times business owners don't go to LinkedIn and they don't use it to its fullest potential. And so tell us why we're slipping on LinkedIn.
I think LinkedIn is intimidating for lots of people. Like they find it intimidating. And apart from that, that's one, people find LinkedIn intimidating. And two, the platform was originally for like job seekers, right? Like I mentioned that I myself went on LinkedIn because I was looking for a job. That's what led me there. So lots of people, they still have that belief that, oh, LinkedIn is a place where you go, you update your resume, it's for job seeking. Some people still have that mindset. And some other people, they know that LinkedIn is actually a place where lots of magic can happen, but they are intimidated by the platform, which makes sense because it's a professional platform. And if you are still in corporate organizations, or the word corporate kind of insinuates being a specific way, having a specific dress code, there are things you can't be, there are things you can't say. So people still attach that mentality to LinkedIn and they don't understand it. It's intimidating. They don't know how to use it. That's usually why I see lots of people like hiding and just going on IG, Facebook. It's like it feels more human, more sociable. That's why I believe lots of people are sleeping on LinkedIn. But what they don't know is that LinkedIn is not a place that is filled with resumes anymore. It's not a place to go to put up your resume anymore. LinkedIn is no longer a place where you have to be a corporate or a professional person. LinkedIn is a social platform. When you're on LinkedIn, you have to be a human, be sociable on a social platform. So people don't know that. That's why they hold back and they go on Facebook, on IG, because they feel it's comfortable. What I love to say is LinkedIn hands you the mic and puts you in the right rooms. So why waste your time on crowded platforms? Like there's so much you can actually benefit from actually taking advantage of that platform.
I love that. LinkedIn hands you the mic, and say that again. It hands you the mic and puts you in a crowded room.
Puts you in the right rooms.
In the right room. Okay.
Puts you in the right rooms.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. And I think that that's what we're all looking for. And we're looking for a space to really showcase our expertise. And so I love the fact that LinkedIn is great for that. And so now that we're saying, okay, tell me more, what about, I want to get on LinkedIn. If somebody only has about 10 minutes and they want to clean up their LinkedIn profile today, what are the 3 high impact sections they need to polish first, and then why?
Okay, I love that question. I love a challenge. Just 10 minutes. You only have 10 minutes. I love a challenge. I love action taking. So the first thing I would say you should do is check your profile picture. Like I see so many people use profile pictures, either selfies or they are maybe vacation pictures, or they have pictures that are so like, they are so far behind and they are like the subjects, like it's so far behind and like I can barely even see your face. So what you want to do first, because first impression matters, right? Your picture, your display picture on LinkedIn is like the very first thing people will see on your profile. So the first thing you want to do is get like, see the way we are right now, from here to here, something like that. So people can see your face, can see you, build that closeness, that virtual closeness. And also make sure your picture is, you're a really good picture, right? A picture that actually portrays how professional. For instance, you are a podcast host. You could take a picture with a podcast microphone, something like that. So something that portrays you, or just something plain like me, for instance, right here, something like that. So that's the first thing, your profile picture. And then the next thing you want to do is work on your headline. So your headline is more like your introductory section of your LinkedIn profile. So you want to highlight your core message, and highlights your core message, who you help, what you help them do, just like a summary of the most important things about you and what people will stand to get by having you as part of their network. So just a simple headline, your core message. What do you do? Who do you help? And then lastly, to ensure you are taking traffic out of LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you actually use your custom button section. So lots of people don't have a feature. It's a bit newer feature that they have. It's more like a link in bio, what Instagram and Facebook has. You can put your most important link. If you have a workshop coming up, the link should be there. It should be at top of your bio. If you have a workshop coming up, if you have a call that you typically have people book when they come into your space, put that there. If you have a free lead magnet, for instance, put that there. So that space should be for like the most important place you want people to go to right now. There's another section, I think, behind kind of for websites, but this particular section, I like for people to use it to lead out of LinkedIn. So if people just want to come to your profile, maybe they read something short, okay, how do I connect with this person? Maybe you have a newsletter, something that takes them out of LinkedIn. So that's what you should do. So number one, your profile picture, first impression matters. Second thing, your headline, again, first impression matters. And then lastly, that custom link. So you are actually not just building authority, you are already leading people, creating traffic, taking people out of LinkedIn into somewhere you want them to be. So that's a quick 10 minutes cleanup.
Yeah, that's so good. So that headline, let's talk about that. Tell us some mistakes that people are making in their headline. What are the things that you're seeing, and how can we reposition those 220 characters to actually attract the right clients?
Yeah. So I see people make lots of mistakes with their headline. I see lots of different mistakes, but the one that really sticks out, the most common one, is people like it's like trying to say too much with just that 220 characters. Say too much, number one, and number two, say everything, yeah, but not just saying everything, but more or less like trying to speak to everybody. Like, for instance, you are a podcaster, you are a speaker, you are a consultant, you are a coach. I mean, you have these different things that you do, and using that space puts every single thing into it. Confusing. It's too much. Like, if you give people too many things at the same time, they will see nothing. Like, each element might lose its meaning. So what I actually advise, what you can do instead, is to pick a core message, core thing that you want people to hear right now, the core people you want to reach out to right now, and represent that in your headline. Like, you can always change it later on when you feel like it, but in the very beginning, let it be specific. Don't put everything, like every single element, and trying to put many things. It's hard. Like, if you make things too hard for people's brains, they will just scroll by, like they won't get it. So that's something that you want to make sure you are being mindful of. Make it specific. Don't overcomplicate it. Like, for instance, you just asked me, what do you do? My I help statement, right? That's my I help. As simple as your I help statement, it can be a game changer. You can always update this later on, but as simple as your I help statement is enough to place in your LinkedIn headline section. Make it clear, specific, and simple.
And so how often are you changing that headline? And so you're saying, what do we want them to know right now? Are you changing it periodically, or what's your process for that?
Personally, if I put up my headline, let's say in the month of May, I can update it in the next 60 days, or the next 90 days, or in the next 30 days. Like, particularly that headline section, right? Maybe if I feel like, oh, okay, my message is actually beginning to, change, either getting more specific or it's broadening, I can put that new clarity in there, but at least give it 30 days, at the beginning. And then one thing I do like to do is, apart from stating my core message, I like to do like a call to action for people to look at my custom link that we just talked about, like that link in bio kind of thing. So I like to have like a call to action. Like, if, for instance, I have a link to my workshop there, I can say, join my workshop, sign up for my free workshop, something like that. So that particular section is something you can keep changing based on, like, if, for instance, you're no longer doing your workshop, you can switch it to your call, your free call. If, for instance, you're not doing a free call, you now have a lead magnet, you can switch it to like a lead magnet. So that's how I typically do it. And that's how I advise my clients to do it as well.
Okay. And so now we've got our profile picture right, we've got the headline, got the link in there. Now let's talk about content. And so, so what's a system that you recommend for showing up consistently on LinkedIn without turning it into a second job? Because we know that social media can be a lot. And so we're juggling the stages, juggling books, we're juggling busy lives. So what is your advice on a system for LinkedIn?
I totally hear you. I particularly resonate with, like, without turning it into a second job, because sometimes being on LinkedIn, and I think social media in general, if you don't use it wisely, it can take over your life. And that's why I obsess about helping people create LinkedIn systems that is actually manageable, is sustainable, and it ensures that they are not turning to slaves of LinkedIn as a result. This is quite generic, but what you can do, you can use the 3x3 content system that I help some of my clients with, 3x3 content system. So if you're someone that is very busy, you have a lot you are juggling, so this particular content system will be very, very useful for you. So the first thing you want to do is to pick 3 content types. Now, there are different content types that you can actually explore for LinkedIn. There's authority content, conversion content, storytelling content, social proof, and so many other content types. But just pick 3 of them because we are trying to manage so many different things. So pick 3 content types. Let's say you pick authority, conversion, storytelling. You pick those 3 content types. So what you want to do after you pick those 3 content types is every week block out at least 3 hours to batch create these 3 posts. So 1 post in authority, 1 post for conversion, 1 post for storytelling. So block 3 hours to batch create these 3 posts ahead of the next week. So when you finish creating those posts, post 3 times a week, 3 different content types, 3 hours to write the content, and post 3 times a week. And when you're writing these posts, make sure you align the content, the authority, the conversion, your storytelling, align it with your messaging and speak to the awareness level of your audience. Don't just write because you just want to write, right? Let the content be as strategic as possible. More importantly, speak directly to the problems your ideal audience, your audience is most likely dealing with. Speak directly to that audience, showcase your authority in actually helping them solve those problems, like itchy problems that they have. Speak to your authority in helping them solve it, and tell stories with your storytelling content piece. Take them into your own life journey, showcase the journey of your clients, and then you want to make sure you have that conversion content piece where you are leading them out of LinkedIn. You're telling them, okay, I've told you all of these different things. I've showcased my authority, told you my stories and all of these different things. Now, this is how you get to work with me. So apart from giving all of this value, you want to make sure you have that element, that conversion driven posts. Lead them. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Typically, conversion driven posts don't do so well. They might not do so well on LinkedIn. And I think I've seen that in other platforms as well, but you definitely want to make sure that they are included in your content strategy. So your 3 content types, just to recap, 3 hours a week to write on those 3 content types and post 3 times in a week, consistently, as consistent as you can possibly do it. And you definitely see good results with it.
So on LinkedIn, then the strategy is a little bit different. So we're not having to post twice a day and all day long like they do on other platforms, like on Facebook or Instagram. Sometimes people are like, okay, post in the morning, post in the midday, post in the evening. Make sure you're posting all these times. But you're saying for LinkedIn 3 times per week. And so less content, but higher quality is the key to LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's the key. Because the audience on LinkedIn, right, they are high caliber, they are sophisticated, they're decision makers, they know what they want, and they just want you to plug yourself into that space of who do I want to do it with? They know what they want to do, they know their problems. So when you speak to those problems and they see you and they see that you're speaking to their problems and you're plugging, and then you're using this storytelling piece to create this connection between yourself and them, to create that relatability. There's no like and trust with them. So you don't really need to post. Of course, you should post more if you have the capacity to. If you have the capacity to, please post as many times as you can afford to. But if you don't have the capacity to post too much, you don't want to feel like you are missing out, or that, when you are on Instagram or Facebook, it's like you are doing all of these different performative things to get people to actually see you. You don't really need that noise per se on LinkedIn. What you can do is post real quality posts at the very beginning with the limited time that you have. If you do have limited time, focus on this 3x3 content system. And of course, if you do generate more capacity, as time goes on, content will get easier for you. As time goes on, it will get easier for you to write content. And when that happens, you can share more and more content, but from the very beginning, so that you don't start and stop, stick to this system.
And I like the fact that you said that you don't have to be so performative on LinkedIn. So that frees a lot of people
Exactly.
where you're not having to dance and sing and find the most popular song.
Yeah, like it's so much like when I'm sometimes I love, obviously I love scrolling on Facebook Reels or Instagram Reels, and I keep seeing all of these tips and hacks, right? Use the most trending audio, do the most trending this, most trending that. It's a whole lot. Like for somebody who really wants to show up online with all of that noise, it's easier for you to just be like, "Ah, I can't handle it. Then just let it go," or you keep putting it on the back burner until you never do it. But on LinkedIn, you really have people who will actually look at your post. They'll read it from top to bottom. They'll have quality conversations with you in the DMs. You're not dancing to draw their attention. They're attracted to this sophistication. Like they're attracted to this professionalism, to this expertise, to this cleverness, intelligence. Exactly. So that's the beauty of LinkedIn, really.
I love that. And it feels boutique style to me to think about.
Exactly. That's the word. Exactly. Exactly.
So a lot of our listeners are like me. They have podcasts, they have books, they have their speaking reels, all these different things. And so what's the most effective way to showcase all of those assets on LinkedIn?
I work with clients who already have all of these assets, like the podcast, the books, the video reels, content, and all of that. It's so satisfying because it's like you've done a whole lot of this work beforehand. Now, how do we showcase it? Not just your expertise, but use it to actually bring leads into your business. So that there are different strategies, different things you could do, but different things you can do in terms of your LinkedIn profile, your content, your sales funnel, and so on. But to make it more specific and easier for listeners, I'm just going to speak on just like, okay, one tip for each section, right? So this would definitely cover for whatever different person you are, whatever situation you are. This would work for you, right? So the first thing you want to do in your LinkedIn profile, you want to place this content, your podcast, your book, your speaking reels. You want to place it as an evergreen magnet in your LinkedIn profile. What you can do is put it in your LinkedIn featured section, just like on Instagram where you have highlights. On Facebook, because you have is pinned posts, but on LinkedIn, you have like a couple of spaces where you can put featured content. So if you have a podcast, like you have a podcast, your link to your podcasts should be the first or second link in your featured section. Your link to your podcast should be the first or the second. Or if you have a book, a link to purchase the book should be the first or the second. Because if you put it at the fourth, fifth, sixth, it gets hidden in the see more section. But your most prominent book, if you have more than one book, so your most prominent book, or if you have a page, like Linktree, you can put multiple pages. So if you have like multiple books, you can put those books, link to those books in one page, and then use that one page and put it on LinkedIn. So all your books are in one place. So you can do that as well. So your link to your podcast, your books, or your speaking reel should be your first or second featured link on LinkedIn. And then the next thing you want to do for your content is every now and then you want to post snippets of your work in your weekly content. So we talked about the 3x3 system. It could be one of the 3x3s. It could be the fourth content type you have, where you're just posting snippets of your work. Like for you have the podcast, so you can put snippets of it for your weekly content. So you can put snippets of your book in your weekly content, snippets of your you spoke here, you spoke there, snippets of that in your LinkedIn content. So let people keep seeing you on stage, keep seeing your podcast, keep seeing your book over and over and over again, and then take it a step further by asking your audience to DM you for some special access. So let's say you are writing your book and you're not done. You've only written the first chapter, for instance. So you can, maybe you're launching the first chapter in your launch. So you can tell them, okay, send me a particular keyword or DM me to get access to that first chapter that I've written. So something like that to spark conversation. Or you have a podcast and you cut out a section for the podcast and then you tell people, send me a DM to get the full link. Something like that. Or you have a book, or you have a speaking reel, you spoke somewhere, and there's a particular section where you captured it hits, like it packs a punch. You can tell them, send me a DM to see the entire interview. So something like that. And then when they come into your DM in the sales funnel end, you have conversations, you ask them questions, you nurture them, You send them the thing they came for, and you just, keep having conversations and then see if they're going to, if they mention that, oh, they need help with something you can help them with. Maybe you have more free resources to lead them even further into your funnel and nurture them even further. So you can do that and take them. If you have maybe a free event coming up, send them a link to your free events. But the most important thing is that this person has identified themselves as someone who is interested in what you have to say. So even if you don't get them, then you then have to keep nurturing them, having conversations. If you have a more robust sales funnel, you can find a place to plug them into and keep nurturing them until they become clients in your business, if that's what you want to do.
That's good. And I like that. So you were already taking us through this lead generation system that you have. And so tell us a little bit more about what you do. And you said that you do the snippets and then you do the call to action to get people over into the DMs. And so how do you do that in a non-cringy way to get people moving through that cycle and into your funnel?
Yeah, a non-cringy way. Yeah. A non-cringe message, right? But I believe a non-cringe message is a message that the receiver has expressed some sort of interest in receiving. Like if somebody connects with you or you connect with somebody and the person accepts your connection request and you send them your speaker reel just like that, that's a cringe message. It's like nobody asked you. I didn't ask you for this. Like, except they've shown some sort of interest. Like I mentioned, they sent you a DM that they wanted, or they express some sort of interest. For instance, that's something that can be a non-cringe message, can have a non-cringe undertone because they express some sort of interest in that message. And also, in your conversations with them, you are listening. You are listening and you are actually responding based on what they've said they have a need around. For instance, let's say I share a free resource, a free resource to use to upload your LinkedIn, to use and update your LinkedIn profile. And then somebody asks me for it in the DMs and I send them that resource, go update your LinkedIn profile. And a couple of days later, I tell them, oh, I'm hosting a free event or I'm hosting a paid event and I'm specifically going to be walking people through their entire LinkedIn profile. Would you like to attend? That's a non-cringe message. They've shown some sort of interest. Or maybe I even did look at her LinkedIn profile and I found that there were some things she's not putting in there. And I go into her inbox and tell her that, based on the conversations we've been having, based on what I've seen in your LinkedIn profile, there are some updates you can make, join me for this free event. So something that's actually kind of solicited, I think that's a non-cringe message. But if it's not solicited and you're sending it just because you want something from me, there's something in it for me at all, that comes off as cringe. Particularly when it's unsolicited and when it's too sudden as also. We basically do not know each other, so that can come off as cringe.
Yes, and I think people complain all the time about that when they just connect with you and then all of a sudden they get this message that says, here's what I do, get my thing. And it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought you said you wanted to develop a relationship here. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mary, here's your Assistance Boutique Challenge, okay? So if somebody committed to just one LinkedIn action every day, every weekday for the next 5 days, what would those 5 actions be to see traction immediately?
So yeah, the 5 days. So the first thing I would say you should do in day one, let's say day one, Monday, optimize your headline. Like we mentioned, we talked about headlines before. Optimize your headline. If you have enough time and if it needs changing, change your profile picture. Day two, share a punchy authority post, something that's authority building post, something that packs a punch, something your audience really needs to hear for day two. And then day three, share social proof, either a video, text, image, share social proof in day three. In day four, start a conversation with a new connection or a warm lead. Like if you have people who have been connecting with you, or those who have connected with you in the past, and this person seems like this person would be like a good lead, or the person would be someone that will benefit from your work you do, start a conversation with them in day four. And then in day five, share a conversion-driven post, make a clear invite. If you have a workshop that you are doing, if you have spots open in your private group, online course, your private program, group program, online course, if you have an event you are speaking at, if you have a book you just released, make a clear invite in day 5. So that's the 5 days. Day 1, optimize your headline. Day 2, share an authority building content piece. Day 3, share social proof, a testimonial. Day 4, start a conversation with a new connection or a warm lead. And in day 5, share a conversion driven post and make a clear invite to your audience.
That is so good, Mary. Thank you for that. Thank you for that action. You all go out, take action on LinkedIn. And Mary, I know that we can find you on LinkedIn. So tell us where else we can find you and what else we need to do to stay plugged in with you.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. Send me a connection request. If you can mention the podcast. And if you mention the podcast, I'll give you a specific resource for you especially. So just start a conversation with me on LinkedIn, right? And you can also find me on Facebook as well with my name, Mary Adanegbe. So those are the places you can find me. And I do have a workshop coming up in next month in June, where I'm specifically going to be working with coaches and business owners, helping them dive into their messaging on LinkedIn, helping them figure out the kind of content that you'll be posting on LinkedIn. So that's something that you can find on my LinkedIn when it's available. Above all of that, just connect with me on LinkedIn. Say hello, hi. I love having a good chat.
Well, I love that. And this has been a wonderful conversation, Mary. I have gotten so many things that I need to run to my LinkedIn profile and check right after I get off with you. And so I'm so excited to be able to really dive into LinkedIn using that 3 content strategy and all of that. I think that those are some wonderful, wonderful techniques that you've given us and strategies and systems today for LinkedIn. And so you all, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Systems Boutique podcast. We will see you next week on the podcast. And bye. All right, my chic CEOs, that's a wrap for today's episode. If you found value in today's conversation, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with another star. That's a speaker, a teacher, an author, or a coach who absolutely needs it. And hey, if you're ready to finally get your systems together, let's chat. Head over to thesystemsboutique.com/strategy to book your systems style strategy call, where we'll map out your perfect business back end. So until next time, keep it chic, keep it systemized, and keep shining like the absolute star you are. See ya.